This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
Very warm welcome to the Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend podcast, where I have got some distinguished panellists this week. It's a change-up and bringing them back for the national hunt season for this Paddy Power Cheltenham weekend, etc., etc., etc. Boring twig hoppers. But we've got Adam Norman and Neville Ender. Good evening, chaps.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening, Adam.
Good evening. Isn't this lovely? It's cozy. We've got the vicar, which is very, very nice, and hopefully that'll keep the language to a minimum. Good to have the vicar back on.
Yes. Nev might not know because he doesn't do Twitter, but Nev, there was a few that was calling you've got the voice of a priest or a vicar. So
yeah, thank you.
He's cultured. It's all these years of William Hill commentary, isn't it? You know,
yeah, that's the best compliment I've ever had, really.
Well, there you go. It's a soothing voice. Forgive me, Father, I have sinned. And last but not least, and not forgetting you, John, because you're raring to go for this weekend twig hopping, aren't you?
I'm looking forward to it ever so much.
Yeah, indeed. Right. Okay. We'll get straight on with it. We're going to go to the best bets round, and there's only 6 races on terrestrial TV as well, which is quite. Well, I was quite taken aback by that. I thought they could have fitted one more in for ITV7. But we'll go on to the third best bets. As you know by now, it's 1.2 points and 3 points for the 3 bets we each give out. So Norman Adams, the Northern Paddock Sleuth. I hope you've had a good summer looking at all these flat racing, flat breed sort.
I've really enjoyed it, Lee. Yeah, it's been an eye-opener. And it's quite interesting coming back to the jumps and seeing quite a lot of bigger horses carrying plenty of timber. It's been quite, it's not been straightforward trying to sort them out, to be honest, but all good stuff.
But you've adapted quite well. So let's have your third best bet, please, for tomorrow.
I'm expecting a few clashes and klaxons with the vicar, but we'll kick off with one. Okay. We'll kick off in the 228 at Wetherby. It's an introductory hurdle for inexperienced animals who have not run in more than one hurdle. So quite an interesting little race. I'm going to put up Matata. Daryl Jacob looks like he's come up here for this particular ride. He's got 1 or 2 others on the card, but clearly he's come up to ride the green on green, Matata. What alerted me to this was the good number he put up between the flags. They then bought him for 75k, and he's gone and bolted up at Fakenham, running extremely freely. It's an incredible sort of view if you look at that. He just took off. Clearly not the most tractable at this stage, but the fact is he's 1 over 3 between the flags suggests that he just he's got the potential to just keep going. And I think 2 more around Wetherby on decent ground, you can get away. It's not easy to come from too far back, and I think there's only one way to ride him at the moment, and that's just to try and just sort of get him somewhat relaxed in front. It looks a really nice big sort. Obviously, it's an interesting race. I think the Market Raisin race that Kraken beat on the Rouge was a bit of a tin pot affair. They crawled and then sprinted. They're okay sorts, but form wouldn't be up there with what Matata's done. Throne Hall is obviously one you guys would know from the flat. A decent enough stayer. I just wonder if he's got the toe to sort of keep in touch. And then there's the McCain horse, Fruited Nut, who's coming back off an absence. I don't think they're going all right, but I think that this time he just finds all the racing a little competitive, and I'd be surprised if Fruited Nut is quite up to it first time. It's an interesting race. Matata looks a bit overpriced to me. I'd put him in near a 2-to-1 fav, so I think
4-to-1 for you with the Stoke Slut for your single point win, Adam. That's generous because it's 3-to-1 elsewhere, but you get 4s at Fantasy Island prices, of course. And I'm sure in that race there'll be a lot of people doing the old fruit and nut and cracker nut reverse forecast.
Yeah,
that's an absolute
good luck to them.
Yeah. So that starts off nicely from Adam. Neville, coming to you for your first bet.
Is that the way you bet, Lee?
What?
Like coincidences, fruit and nut. And
to be honest, where I've been going recently it would be an improvement. I'm sure of it.
My third best bet is Uttoxeter. 3 mile 2 furlong handicap chase at 2:12. I've actually just noticed that a non-runner's come in, but it shouldn't make any difference to the prices. Doc picked me's out. The Hollow Ginge is so well handicapped. If you go through his form of maybe just the past 12 months, he has, although his last 11 runs, he's failed to complete in 7 of them, which is obviously a cause for concern. But he's had wind surgery just before Christmas last year, and he's been running okay. But his mark is so low now that I just cannot ignore him. 12 months ago, when in October of 21, he finished second at Cheltenham, over 3 miles 1 furlong off 137. He now runs off 124, and they must have thought he was pretty straight for his first run back for nearly 200 days at Cheltenham last month, when he started favourite for a really good handicap chase, but he didn't jump very well, and I'm going to forgive him for that. Any horse you can forgive it after such a long absence. And off 124, I mean, this horse will either win. There's no each way with this one. There's none of you wanking bets here, Lou. Forget about each way. He'll either win or he'll fail to finish. But I think he's worth the risk. The Hollow Ginge, he normally contests 0 to 50, 0 to 60 handicaps, the top handicap chases. But this would be the lowest grade he's running for a good while. And I'm going to take a chance on him. 212 Uttoxeter, the Hollow Ginge, he's thrown in.
He is, if he comes back to his best. Like, you make a good point, Nev. A lot of back class there. And this would be easier than what he normally faces. 10-1 with Paddy Power, Betfair and Bet Victor. For you, back class sleuths. And Nigel Swiston-Davies is certainly in a little bit better form than possibly last year. I don't think he had the best of years last year either. So hopefully, fingers crossed for Nev. Hollow Ginge comes back with a bang there. John, coming to yours.
Unsurprisingly, this one's at Lingfield.
Go on.
11:45, Invasive Power. Back on the all-weather on a declining mark after 5 runs on the turf. He's won a £12 high around here 18 months ago. I think this is a very weak heat, and he's had some proper drop kicks riding in the last 5 races. Probert's up tomorrow. That should be enough to see him home.
This is interesting you've tipped this, because it's on my shortlist tomorrow, and my notes say gambling horse if bet wins. They've basically been nailing this to the floor for a long time and messing around. This will either go off 5-4, absolutely smashed, or it'll go off 28s on the machine. This is what they've been doing. I've been watching this horse for a long time. You know, it's so well handicapped now, and it's ready to do it. It's just whether the owners, etc., want to press go. Because if they do, this will go off. I think about risk favourite. If it's a yes day, but I think we'll know that come post time. But 6-1, John. That with the Stoke slut. Hopefully it does go off at 5-4 for you. Good stuff. Myself, I'm going to the 255 at Cheltenham, and probably need to see a doctor doing this, but tipping this. But Jatalui of Philip Hobbs, it's 20-1 with Bet365. That's far too big. It's Dave Maxwell. We know Dave. He's funny. But there'll be no louder roars, I don't think, if Dave gets one at a well-attended meeting like it will be tomorrow at Cheltenham. And there's every reason to believe that he can do, because this horse doesn't jump. It just doesn't jump fences. It's hated fences ever since they've put it over it. It's got a terrible technique. Over hurdles, if you just wipe that, the hurdles form, it's finished 8th in the Pertemps final of 148. That was its last start over hurdles. 138 today. Tomorrow. And that's just too low now, because this horse, I don't think, has lost its ability. He just clearly can't jump. It's not like the Lisnagar Oscar of the race, where you might be thinking, is Lisnagar Oscar going to come back to former glories? Because you just don't know with that horse. As in, it ran rancid last year overall. But Jatalui, I've no doubts it's got its ability still. So 20-1 is absolutely huge. And I know it's Dave, but I'm going 1 point win. I think it's either going to come back to its very best. If it does, 21 is going to be absolutely enormous. And I think it should be a lot shorter. So 1 point win for me at 20s with Bet365. John, I'll swing it straight back round to you with your 2-pointer.
In the interest of a bit of variety, I'm sticking with Lingfield. In the 12-15,
yeah,
and I'm also sticking with Dave Probert. He's ridden this one last time as well, Gurkha Girl. Again, a very, very weak handicap. The reason mainly for being with this one are massive negatives about the others. The favourite's drawn 9 with a £7 claimer up, so he's got a headache to start with. The Dow horse needs finessing from the back, and I don't think they'll go fast enough. And Espresso Fredo, at 8 years of age, is old enough to think he might be springing a lake now. The selection shaped okay last time under 10 stone round Wolves, and I think a repeat sees her go very close in this sort of grade. 2 points. Okie
dokie for Roger Teal, David Probert in the saddle for John, and that is available at 9-2 general for your 2 points win. Cheers, John Joe. I'll carry on then and then come back to the jump sleuths. I'm going to go. I'm not going to cheat here. I'm going to stick to the jumps. I'm going to man it up. 3:30 Cheltenham. That's the handicap hurdle. The old 2 miles 5 furlongs absolute bent heats that are usually won by well handicapped horses. And I can't have the Tony Martin horse beat. 5-2 is just, I think, a phenomenal price, because that's with Denise. This horse, when it won at Punchestown, off a mark of just a lowly mark of 89, bearing that's the Irish mark, so to be sort of like 99 English. If they'd have gone another 3 or 4 furlongs, it would have won by about half a mile. It was absolutely powering clear over 2 miles. You could see that another half mile over hurdles wouldn't have done it any harm. In fact, it would have improved it. It's since won on the flat off marks of sort of 71, etc. It's it's sort of 77 on the flat. It comes here off 111 over hurdles. He's just too well in. It's probably, I could see this being 130, 135 hurdler. There's some people that don't like 5-2 in big fields, but he's just got to steer this round. So 5-2 unanswered for Tony Martin, and the Bent Irish, hopefully some carrots in it as well, to roar it home. That's one for you Fav backers. 2 points win, 5-2 with Denise. Adam Norman, coming to you.
Yep, 153 Weatherby horse. Actually, it's a similar sort of theory to Nev's first bet. We've got a lot of handicap chasers that are slid down the way. It's a bit like yours, actually, Lee Jatalu way. And this is Defi Sacra, who was a nailing good and consistent animal until last year when Dickie Hobson's yard was wrong, and as a consequence, he's looking on an extremely tempting mark of 117. He was, he's won off 125 and 123 and that sort of thing, and been really competitive in good races in the south. As I say, it's just a handicap thing really, and Hobson's back in form. Obviously had Riders on the Storm won the Old Road Indian, and a couple of others have done well recently. Lord de Menil showed up well. Fugitive today was good. Hughes has been booked. There's quite a lot. I put a line straight through. Favourite Soldier of Destiny is pretty solid but a bit short. So I'm going to stick with 2 points Defi Sacra.
Good stuff. 2 points Defi Sacra. Like you said, it seems to be a theme of the show. Like horses that seem to be quite well handicapped and off good marks. Bright Lights of Brian Hughes and eye-catching booking, and that is available at 9-1 with Paddy Power, Betfair and Bet Victor. Good luck, Adam, with that. I see Mr. Vac Pouch has got one in there, the bent Vac Pouch man. Batman Forever.
Yes, he's got a couple. Yes. I saw him at Market Raisin yesterday. Yes,
but Becky's filthy. Adam, can I ask you just before we go on to Nev's 2 point bet? Do you think Menzies horses sometimes need them after?
Most of them do, yeah. Most of them do, yeah.
They seem to improve for a run. So getting it there first hand off Adam there, who obviously looked a lot at the northern paddock scene.
She's good like that though, Lee. She's one of those where she keeps condition on them quite well through the season, so she gets a lot out of them. But yeah, generally I tend to think that they do need it. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you for that. Neville, coming to you for your 2-pointer.
They do improve for money as well, the horses, I've noticed.
Isn't her other half also a big Betfair player?
I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, I think
I have no idea.
I've heard. Yeah.
So, you obviously know.
Yeah,
it was like a rhetorical question, that wasn't it?
Yeah, so I was just wondering, confirming. Do we hear the same things through the vibe?
They're out of form, really, though, aren't they? She had a winner yesterday, but I don't think it would have won. Nathan rode it, and didn't the favourite break down or go lame?
Yeah, I know.
They're generally out. They seem out of form. Horses. I'm going to apologise in advance because my second best bet is a horse that the price is not going to be great, but I do think it's got a banker look to it. There are 5 declared in the 12.55 at Nice, but there are only 4 with a chance because one of them, unbelievably, is making its debut, rated, I think, below 50 in Ireland. So it's making its debut in this high-quality Grade 3 hurdle. So there are only 4 with a chance. One runs tonight at Dundalk, assuming it hasn't been taken out, Luna Power, but that wouldn't be good enough anyway. Feed Door has got a huge task, in my opinion, trying to concede £9 to Brazil. Brazil, to me, looked very progressive. It was a progressive horse last season. Won we used to be the Fred Winter, the Boodles now, is it? Cheltenham, and he looked like he needed the run last time when a really good second in a good quality hurdle race behind a potential superstar in Champ Kiley of Willie Mullins's. He was a good second that day. He doesn't need to improve anything at all on that form to win tomorrow. It's possible he'll start second favourite, but I can't imagine he's going to be much bigger than 13 to 8. But for me, it's got the look of a banker, and at the weights, he really can't get beat for me, Brazil. And if it's a properly run race, if obviously it's a crawl, it's going to make it different. But there are 4 good horses, but he looks absolutely thrown in off 10 stone 13.
Nev, I completely agree. I'm surprised that they've actually made Field Door favourite because.
Can he give £9? I don't think he can.
I don't think he can. Brazil for me would be. Only thing that I could probably understand why is maybe if it became too tactical.
Yeah,
perhaps.
that would be the worry. But these are good horses. They won't be hanging. I'm going to sound like Tomo then. I apologise for that. They won't be messing around though, will they?
No, you'll be doing Cranfield adverts, Nev.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. 6 to 4 for Nev, generally available for Brazil. Could be a topical one for you, World Cup lads, who's when that gets underway next week. But never mind. Brazil for Nev, and I agree. I think I would make that favourite. Prairie Dancer could jump to the right sometimes as well. So I like Nev's bet there. That's the one I'd be backing at 6 to 4 over the Fav, definitely. So 2 points for Nev on that. That finishes that round. John Joe, kick us off with the 3 pointers.
Right, total at Lingfield. Montatham.
In the big one.
Well, this one was entitled to need the run last time, I thought, after 12 months off.
Yeah, I said big one. No, sorry, John, it's an handicap, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, no, not the big one.
And I thought it ran really well at Ascot. Managed to get his nose in front at one point, just got tired late on. He's come down in the weights over the course of his last half dozen runs or so. And I think the fact that the shirt's keeping going with him suggests he thinks he can get him back to former glories. And I thought that run last time indicated he probably could. Obviously, it'd be a slap in the face if Young Fire went and beat him after the last couple of weeks, but really, there shouldn't be enough pace on for him again this time. So I'm just hoping Indian Jim rides this one nice and handy, takes it up, turning in, does the business. 3 point win.
It's an interesting thing what you say, really, because obviously with the dispersal of Shadwell's horses operation, they've sold studs in Ireland, they've sold a lot of the breeding stock, and the fact that Montatham could, it's not going to make a deal. Well, not to their levels, 6-year-old. It is rated 101, but it's still going to make a few quid. And the fact they've not bothered to send that through the ring, I think might be bit of a tip in itself there. Didn't run too badly at all last time, did it? In the
I thought it ran real well. I mean,
the Balmoral.
Yeah, the shirt horses tend not to do a great deal when they're friendless in the market like that one was, and I thought he looked big enough before the race as well. So yeah, I quite like this tomorrow.
Maybe they're smelling sort of like, like eventually could, maybe some kind of all-weather championships, or maybe if it dots up tomorrow, they might end up sending it to Dubai. Don't know what the plans are.
He had a year off, so he probably hasn't been the easiest to train. So a nice supportive all-weather surface will probably shout as well. Yeah,
no, that's 11-4 general for John Montathan for the shirt. In the handicap, which is worth 20,000 added and 10,000 to the winner for a horse is rated 105. British racing at its finest. Adam Norman, coming to you for your big nap.
I'm still trying to work out what I'm going to do, actually. 303 at Wetherby. I'm going to go with the favourite, Fransham. His record at Wetherby is ridiculous, and I thought he looked dreadful actually when I saw him on his reappearance a month ago, carrying condition and poor in his coat, and he nearly won, quickening up after the last. Wasn't a great race, but it was just a sighter for this race. Which did he win it last year? Yeah, he did. It wasn't such a good race, I don't think, last year. Oh no, he was jumping fences last year. What am I talking about? He didn't really take to fences because he's not that big. But his hurdle form here is second to none. He's off a winning mark, and I don't think it's that great a race. Too friendly would be the danger. The Skelton horse. I'm not great at judging juveniles in their second season, but they always look a bit stiff. It's a bit like 2-year-olds. They always look on a stiff mark to me. There's another Tom Simmons horse coming over from France running for the first time, but the rest didn't really appeal much. Risque d'Argent looks a soft ground horse to me, and Alistair Ralphs, although they're running into form, just look as if they've been needing it. I didn't think there'd be too many there with chances. So Fransham looks a good thing to me at something like 5-2, is it?
11-4, generally available for you. Yeah. So that's not bad for you.
Yeah, I can see it going off 7-4. Being over bet, but I can't really find much else to put up against it. Home Public looks really badly handicapped. So yeah.
The Gueros and the Greenhalls are going well this year.
Brilliantly, yeah.
They're 23%, I think. Since,
it's a kennel to keep an eye on, yeah.
Yeah, the 9% in 2021, and they've kind of just turned a corner. But yeah, it's interesting what you said about Fransham, R.E. Cut. When you said that it was poor in its cut, was it just dull or was it not clipped? What was it?
It was probably just turning, so it was a bit early to clip it, wasn't it, about a month ago? But but what surprised me was that it was carrying condition. It was clear that they're clearly lining up this race just a month later. I'm sure it's won this race before, but I don't think it's not. It's just won so many times at Wetherby. I just keep seeing it win. But it was clearly being set up for this race. And 135 is it has been as high as 142. I know we're sort of splitting hairs about weights and measures and stuff. I'm not that fussed about a pound here and there, but I just can't see. I just can't see him not running brilliantly. So
good stuff. So 3 points on the noggin for Norman, and 11-4 on the woolly mammoth from last time at Fransham. Coming to me before we go to King Nev for the final nap. I'm going to Utoxeter in the 322, and I am absolutely all over this one. Super Sunrise at the general 4-1 available for the Twiston Davis yard. This horse, I mean, yes. You can make a case for could be a weapon of Ben Paulins. Obviously, looks to be improving, but to me, Super Sunrise was nothing. The horse was nothing last year. He just couldn't get anything together whatsoever. So you watched the Stratford race last time, and they've dropped it £16 since its initial 99 assessment by the assessor. Now it's rated 83. He's left it on the same mark. You watched Stratford last time. There was no horse coming from off that pace because they didn't go hard enough. This was the only one to come from miles off the pace. If you freeze the VT before the home bend, you'd have laid me 20-1 that gets within a length of the winner. Well, it got within a length of the winner nearly. And literally, it was an incredible run. It's clearly a horse that's probably just taken a year, whatever. The penny's dropped, if you like. It's probably still a bit raw and a bit leery, but that's what you get with horses rated at that sort of level. But nevertheless, if things click tomorrow, the 4-1's going to look enormous, because I think this horse is probably going to be something 110, and it's whether it does click. If it clicks, it's won. That's it. It's that simple. 4-1 tomorrow, up to 2.5 miles. Super Sunrise. Thomas Bellamy in the plate, and it's just. I reckon last year was just like nothing went for it. You could see they were going for a mark, but when they actually sort of went for it, it just bottomed out. It's something wrong with those. They never had it right. But the run at Stratford says to me that this horse is he's ready to do a demolition job, and it could well be tomorrow. So very confident on Super Sunrise. If that shows up and runs its race 4-1, it will look absolutely huge. So that's my 3-pointer. Nevender finishes off.
Well, you've already said everything about mine now, but I'll reiterate it with 1 or 2 different points. Cheltenham 3:30. Tony Martin's horse just looks an absolute nailed on certainty for me at the weights. When you think that he could qualify for a 0 to 110 at Sedgefield or a 0 to 110 at Hexham, off 111, he won his last handicap at Punchestown back in May, handicap hurdle in May off 89. But I think it's something like it's around 7 or 8, maybe even £9 differential. The ratings from the Irish to the English ratings. Yeah. So you can say that the handicapper has put him up, but he's improved a further £20 on the flat subsequently since then. Yeah, he was going to run 3 times at the Galway Festival. They actually took him out on the 3rd run because of unsuitable ground, but he arguably should have won both his 2 races at Galway Festival that he ran in. And I think more so the fact I really fancy him. The reason that absolutely rubber stamps it for me is that he's going up in trip for the first time over hurdles, and for me off 111. I can't see this horse getting beaten if the races run to suit and nothing gets in his way and he hurdles right. Surely he can't get beat off 111. And the other day when he ran at the Curragh, was it the Curragh? He was coming on the back of a break of 89 days, so he's had the best part of 3 months off, and he's shaped really well. He only got beat under 4 lengths, 5th of 23. He's got the look of an absolute nailed on certainty tomorrow when answered, but the price is going to be pretty short, isn't it? For a
5 to 2. You can have the 5 to 2 with me, Nev. We're in the queue at 5 to 2. We've got us dockets. That's it. We're on. We're in the stands.
He's off 111. He's got to win, hasn't he?
I think so. I mean, like I said, I'd have this probably about 13 to 8.
I think he will be short on 5 to 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so Nev with 3 points. And the klaxon goes. The klaxon. We've done a blasters klaxon, me and Neville, the shrewdest judges around, to finish off. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed that. These are our best bets finished. Now we'll go on and talk about the terrestrial television racing tomorrow. Before coming to that, there's a nice horse running at Naas tomorrow. I don't think it'll win. But I'm looking forward to this season. It's also called Meet and Greet of Oliver McKiernan's. Runs in the 130 at Naas, the big handicap hurdle there, and it was third to the Nice Guy at Punchestown. Obviously, the Nice Guy winning at Cheltenham and then following up at Punchestown. This horse ran an absolute belter in third. I'm pretty sure though this might be a pipe opener. The Irish aren't bothered about getting beat like we are. We like to keep winning, but the Irish aren't bothered about getting beat. Top weights do struggle in Irish premium handicap hurdles for obvious reasons, because the horses are simply laid out for these kind of events. So I'm not expecting to win, but watch Meet and Greet tomorrow going forwards for the rest of the season. I think this horse could be really, really nice. Another season on its back. It's not had much racing, so that's the one I'm looking forward to. To watch at Naas tomorrow, apart from Nev's Brazil, of course. I hope that does the business. But on to the television action. We'll do Lingfield first, just to freeze you chaps out for a bit longer. 235 Lingfield job. Summer Gandhi's put in 100 to 30 favourite from the Logo Hunter second in. Any view in this?
Yeah, well, I think Summer Gandhi's probably a bit obvious, but I was really struggling to find one I thought would bait him. Don't think Harry's Bar is particularly in the sort of form where it's 111. The rest of them, the opposition looks pretty thin, to be honest. I don't know a lot about Logo Hunter. I don't know. Michael J. Brown's going very quiet on the runners front. He's only had 2 runners in the last fortnight.
Don't think he trains many horses, does he? You know.
So I don't think I'd be so keen on that at the price. It's obvious, but I think I'd have to be with some again.
Yeah, I mean, Logo Hunter's Logo Hunter's a brazen bow. Obviously, brazen bows absolutely love the all weather, and I expect Logo Hunter to run its race. Ran well last time behind Manakan. Manakan had a bit of its sleeve though. I agree with you. It's one of them. I think it's priced up correctly. I don't really see an edge going into the race, so we'll move on.
It's not a race that grabs you, is it?
It's not really, no. It's a bit of a mare of a race really to be playing on, but that's how we see it. The 310, the Churchill, has a bit more quality about it. You know, for a listed race, Missed the Cut is 2-1. Market leader backed in from 5-2. Didn't handle the ground in France when they sent it to Deauville. Obviously, it was a very well.
Form wasn't bad though, was it? I mean,
it was good. Yes,
run really well in the arc. The second, third, and fourth, I think. Have all run with credit since. I mean, you couldn't really crab that to say the ground wasn't suitable. You know. Second favourite hasn't run for ages. There's blinkers going on. You wouldn't be thrilled, would you?
Not really. Harrovian is what it is. Algiers, again, the same. You know, there's going to be no more from that. Forester Dean, hadn't run for 259 days for Slim and Towser. They put the pieces on. People, stats freaks, they go on about Gosden with first-time headgear, but that's only with blinkers and visors. Pieces, he's useless. So
what's his stats like with donations to MPs who go on reality TV?
400 bags, Hancock. 400 bags in the bag.
Just wondering if Gosden's stats would indicate that he's worth a bet to win it. I would have thought not, given the fact he's universally despised.
Indeed. Majestic Dawn will go off like the clappers, you'd think, and make it a good pace. That might be interesting in running bettors.
It should suit Mr. Cut though, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the hardest part of Mr. the Cut tomorrow, if you are taking the short price, is Bent Jim has got to get it across from stall 10. Like with the short run to the bend. So because he doesn't lead, he's not a horse that leads. You probably need the luck of getting a nice slot.
He's going to miss it and drop on, isn't he? He'll drop on the fence.
That's the key to the race. In running players, that's the key to the race. If he gets a nice position after a furlong or two, then he'll probably be into about 11 to 10. So that might be one for in running players. Right, we've done with the flat. We haven't really got any pre-play bets, so we'll move on to the televised Cheltenham fair tomorrow. And Fry's been on. She was due to be on this show, but she's had to do some Cheltenham work afterwards.
Probably. Yeah, Cheltenham work's consisting of seeking out somebody to suck off today.
What, a Jeff Stafford? Absolutely, yeah. Well, that's it. These country bumpkin types. It's a long time between meetings in Gloucestershire, and like you say, if you don't suck someone off,
ain't shitting dogs down there, aren't
they? Absolutely. Yeah, they go off like Catherine wheels. Onto Fry. She's mentioned something in the 110, which obviously not on telly. She says she likes Brave Way in this. She says that this horse has a top rider in the saddle, in Mr. B.W. Harvey. I don't even know his first name. Do you know his first name, Nev? Mr. B.W. Harvey, Brian Harvey. Wasn't he in E17?
He was. Still is.
Was he on Big Brother as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like, or I'm a Celebrity, one of those, wasn't he?
Yeah, Brian Harvey.
He's a great character.
Absolutely. He's 17 fan.
He managed to run over himself, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
In a car.
A lot into his life, hasn't he?
Yeah, old Brian Harvey. It's a brave way the Fry monsters all over in the amateur race said basically it's a brilliant jumper and it has to go well under him. So yeah,
Go
hopefully
another one. He rode that, didn't he? Go another one.
Yes.
Anyway, he won lots of. It's a good amateur, isn't he?
He is. Yeah,
There are a lot of good amateurs in that race. So.
Fry certainly recognised that. Okay, we'll go.
Fry will be dripping off Drac like chocolates.
Definitely. If not Drac, it'll be Ash Simons while she's cussing Cornelius Lysett. For banning them from drinking from the press room. Right. 145. It's from the Horse's Mouth podcast. Arkle Challenge True.
Who are they?
Yeah, from the Horse's Mouth.
Who are they?
What's all that about? I know, having the cash to sponsor a race of that magnitude.
Yeah. One day, Lee. One day.
Yeah. I'm lucky if I've got the cash for a kebab later on. But anyway, the 145 race. Banbridge heads the market at 15-8, and Tommy's Oscar for Anne Hamilton at 2-1. I'll kick us off with this. I love Tommy's Oscar. He's one of my favourite horses in training. I want this to win just for Anne Hamilton because she's so underrated as a trainer. She's so skilled, and I think the last win from Tommy's Oscar has done punters a favour that fancy Tommy's Oscar because it looks unimpressive. It looks the fact that it's all out to beat Jeremino, or Jeromino, or whatever you want to. But £17 concession for a chasing debutant to do that, I thought was most impressive. And the fact that Donald McCain's horse jumped across Tommy's Oscar all the way up the hill and putting it off, it literally was jumping right into its path and just sort of making Tommy's Oscar edge away from it. Couldn't keep a straight line because of it. It was all over the place. And the fact that Tommy's Oscar then showed the resolve to nail it near the line, I don't think that's to be cribbed at all. And I think this horse, now that the Nichols horse is a non-runner, Montmorel, I think this will win tomorrow, and I'll be roaring it home, chaps. What do we think?
I agree. I love Tommy's Oscar. I think and the performance he put up at Carlisle was as good a novice handicap form you could wish to see probably throughout the whole of the season. If he can produce an effort on his first try over fences at 156, he's going to be a very hard horse to beat in all the top novice chasers this season. But it is hard to get a proper angle on the form. He's only beaten one rival, and Jeremino is, although he's won several races, he's only beaten probably a handful of rivals the whole of the summer. It's hard to know. He's a hold-up horse, is Tommy's Oscar. He travels well, but although I do like him a lot, and I can see why you like him. You fancy him because he would be the best of these over hurdles. I think Banbridge jumped superbly well on his debut over fences, and he did win the Martin Pipe last season over hurdles, and he's a quality horse. All right, he's got £13 to find with Tommy's Oscar on hurdles form, but I think he'll probably be more of the finished article at the moment than Tommy's Oscar. If you're having a bet, you've really taken a chance because you just don't know what's going to turn up. Pentland Hills, none of these other horses could have won the flat handicap that he won at Haydock. He might, and at his best, he probably would have been a 160 horse over hurdles. Glory and Fortune, smart performer over hurdles, 143. All right, it didn't work out for him over fences last season, but they're having another go with him. It's a very, very hard race to form an opinion on. If I had to have a bet, I'd probably go with Banbridge, but whatever won the race, even Salt Pretender is a smart horse over hurdles in Ireland. Whatever won the race, bar for saying, you wouldn't be surprised at, would you?
No, I mean, there'll be some that say Tommy's Oscar doesn't deserve his 156 rating because. No, but people will say that because he's beaten Northern Scrap. I mean, there's this north-south divide, etc., and maybe there's a bit of that in it. That's why, because if Paul Nicholls trained Tommy's Oscar, for example,
he probably would be. It'd probably be even money, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it's a trainer bias, and Hamilton, he's so. Adam, coming to you, what do you think?
It'll be a heart in the mouth job whether you're watching from the sidelines or backing him, to be honest, because you do want him to do well. I was at Carlisle. Hammy said that they scored it once. That was enough. He's an absolute natural, has been from day one. You can see the way he jumps hurdles. He's a smashing looking horse. You just want him. You just want him to win more than anything. I think he'll have too much toe for Banbridge. I think Banbridge is a 2.5-3 miler. I'd like to think Tommy's will outpace him on this ground, which is pretty lively. He's got tons of toe, Tommy's. You just want him to get round safely and just be there 2 out. And I think he'll see him off personally, but I won't be betting. It's a shame Monmouth's come out because that would have made it a proper race and more of a bet. I think it was about 11-4 before the withdrawal, but might have tempted me. Yeah, it might have tempted me in. So it's perhaps best that I'll just sit it out and cheer him on for the north. But fingers crossed.
Indeed, John. Anything to add?
Dog in, pat it out, and tune.
Yes, dog in some chicken liver pate, and lick the crackers. Right, so 220 at Cheltenham is the Paddy Power Gold Cup. This is the one where Cool Cody turns up every year, makes all, or that's been the case. 16-1 for Cool Cody supporters, the 11-year-old. This is a real good front-running track, chaps. Fry's been on, and she likes Stolen Silver. Fantastic jumper. Basically, decent run in the play at the Fez. Won at the April meeting. The yards, in very decent nick as well, is Sam Thomas at the moment. And she thinks that's a real solid perk at around 6-1. Do we agree with Fry?
I think you could make a case for most of the field here, couldn't you?
Yeah,
it looks ridiculous. In fact, I'd make a case for everything bar Cool Cody. I think he's won his race. There's there are some of these races that he's been winning are not as strong as this. This looks a real strong event. I might be doing him down, but he's £10 higher than last year. I can't see him being in the frame at all. There's so many horses you can give a chance to, progressive young types. I wouldn't have a clue to, I really wouldn't like to pin my colours to anything, to be honest. I think you've got to have toe, be able to travel and jump on this ground. It's lively, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't put anyone off Stolen Silver, definitely, as you say, with the ground and with the trainer flying, course form, etc.
Okay. Nev, this is a rat hole, isn't it? It's a front running inside line rat hole.
They're going to go very quickly, as you would expect in a valuable handicap chase. I liked Umbrigado, but I'm concerned about the ground for him. I think he does need some cutting it. I thought it was a good weight carrying performance when he won over hurdles last time, and he has won off this mark previously a couple of seasons ago as a novice. Midnight River, I was reading a quote from Dan Skelton. He genuinely believes this horse could be a graded horse, so he would have to take a lot of beating off 145. But again, I think he's going to need soft ground. I'm probably not going to have a bet in the race, but I thought that Mouse Morris's horse, French Dynamite, was teed up for this lovely. He won a hurdle race last time. That was 3 weeks ago. His hurdle rating is pretty similar to his chase mark. He jumps well. He likes to race handy, and the Irish always come to Cheltenham with a few pounds in hand, don't they? So he would be my most likely winner, French Dynamite, unless it did absolutely hammer it down, and I would then switch to Umbrigado.
Well, yeah, I mean, French Dynamite does look to have outstanding claims. But I agree with Adam, really. It's one of them races where I'm quite happy. Nev, you might be the same also. If you're playing tomorrow, we just do the in-running thing, don't we?
Yeah, I'm not going to have a bet. If French Dynamite had been double his odds, what he is, but he's only going to be 4-1 into it. You do need a certain amount of luck in running around Cheltenham when they're going like shit off a stick as well. The the margin for error jumping is so slight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be about track position and rhythm, isn't it?
I thought J. Law ran well at Weatherby.
That's Aintree, yeah, in the old Rowan, yeah.
He looked like he would improve for the step up in trip. You couldn't be absolutely certain he is a genuine 2 mile 5 horse. But he was 152 years ago before he had his year off.
I think he is a bit fragile, and it doesn't look the most robust. I didn't particularly take to him at Aintree. For me, a big field would be a bit of a concern, and he clattered one down the back. You can't afford anything like that here.
No, it's got to be impeccable jumping.
Yeah.
There's probably the bets is quite well. We know he goes around Cheltenham. The problem is his rider, isn't it? You can't. He's not going to win this race, is he, Maxwell? He hasn't even ridden. When was the last time he rode in a race? He's going to be unfit, isn't he?
Well, yeah, it is a bit of a worry with old Maxie. I hope it's not the case with Jatalui later on, but at least it's hurdles, Nev. You don't have to work as hard over hurdles.
I can't remember the last time he rode.
I think he rode one not long ago, just to get his eye in. He rode on
November the 4th. It's still a long time though, isn't it? He rode, good luck to him. But simply the best ran in this race last year, didn't it? Finished about halfway, but he's off a lower mark. You can make a case for a lot of them, can't you? Although I don't actually think this is a vintage renewal. I think last year's race was probably a bit stronger than this.
You think?
I think I backed Zanza in this last year, and
I did, yeah, but I've given up on him.
Yeah, he's gone the wrong way. John, anything to add?
I thought Il Ridotto could be interesting off the wind up.
The old Nichols wind up. Well, he's 5 now. This is the thing that they start them early. I mean, chasing at 4, and then and now he's
3 in France.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, 3 exactly. 3 in France. So this horse is an old hat at 5 years old. So yeah, I kind of get that. Could be more progression this year. I do think they tend to improve the French horses. Like
you'd think, Paul Nicholls would have a lot of horses he could put in this race, wouldn't you? And he's only just sort of chosen this one. So again, didn't he hack up? Was it Newbury? Was it last year? I can remember.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
impressive. Yeah.
I tell you. I wonder. Yeah, actually, it's a good point that because that when he hacked up, they went absolutely bananas. Really bananas. Like Numitor went at a proper pace, as in just blasted off, and everything was like following Frero, Bamboo, Grey Diamond. They're all following him, and Il Ridotto just sat behind them all. And I think that suited him. So I wonder, strong pace. That could be the case.
A bit of a hallmark with this horse. He does do a lot in their hands, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I think it's a massive ponce.
That was the thing, wasn't it? After Newbury, it looked a massive ponce, really. Now, was it that it couldn't raise, or is it a massive ponce?
It's got to prove it stays as well. Yeah, I can't. I'm sure on the trends, it's an absolute no. I don't know, but with no proof that it even stays, I'd be a layer. I'll probably be a layer in running. I'll be if it's poncing down the hill hard on the snaff, then I'll be looking to press the pink.
Ooh, Norman going all pink. Norman going pink tomorrow.
Yeah. What does that mean? We're talking racing now, aren't we?
Yes.
I think everybody looks to press the pink at this meeting.
More tea, Vicar.
Yeah.
You're forgiven.
2:55 Cheltenham is the Paddy Power Games handicap hurdle of 3 mile. I've already covered it with my selection. Fry's been in on this race, and she is keen on Lisnagar Oscar, which you can make a case for if you think it's not dead. Rob James in the saddle, he's absolutely top class for £7. She says, and yeah, I get it. If Lisnagar Oscar is back in any kind of sort of previous form prior to last year, then you are looking in business at the prices. So that's where Fry's coming from. What do you lads think?
Well, this Rob James, is he the amateur that rode for Christian Williams in the Air Gold Cup? The Scottish National, sorry.
Yeah, I think he is, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's ridden something like 400 point-to-point winners, and yet he can claim 7. It's just a shame that he's on Lisnagar Oscar, because I don't think Lisnagar Oscar will win. I think he's probably, well, he might not be past his best, but he certainly looked last season as if he was. I thought Paddling Your Own Canoe was well handicapped off 1, 2, 3. I think he's certainly not lost it. If you look at his form from, let's go back less than a year, he was running off 1.35 and he only got beat 5 3/4 lengths in a valuable handicap at Haydock. All right, things didn't work out for him over fences, and I actually backed him in the Warwick Classic where the reins went over the horse's head at the first. I think he banked the first or something, and he was out there at the tack slipped. Oh, it was the second fence it was. So things didn't work out for him, but the handicap has taken a bit of a chance with him. They've dropped him down rapidly to 1, 2, 3. Wouldn't surprise me if he was very well handicapped, and he will love the ground. He doesn't want it soft. He wants it, genuine good ground.
I agree with that to a degree, but only thing that I put a negative on, that when it was when it bolted in off 1.35, it was with the Tizzards at that point, and they were using Harry Kimber taking 10 off, and I think that maybe just did sort of kind of, exaggerate it a little bit. I mean, Harry Kimber, when he was claiming 10, everyone was on.
It's a long time ago, isn't it? You know, dragging up form from 4 years ago.
Terrible from the Vicar.
We're only going back five runs, though, aren't we? For when he was running off 1.35
over hurdles. Yeah, it's a very curiously campaigned animal, isn't it? 1 minute it's running on the flat at Southall, the next minute it's running in a 4-mile race at Utox.
That was for his previous trainer, though, wasn't it? I think that they laid it out for that Warwick race. I'm pretty sure they must have done. They gave it a run over hurdles because they didn't want to. I don't know. Maybe the weights wouldn't have come out for the Warwick Classic by then, so maybe they were looking after his mark and things didn't work out. Subsequently, ran Sandown in a valuable Grade 3 chase. He went to Toxeter for the summer. Was that this summer? I don't know. It was one of the valuable race. Race. They've kept him out. He's now back running over hurdles and. You could definitely fancy him on handicapping alone. It's just that it just jumps out of you 1, 2, 3. It's just whether he's like you say, he's been trained for the race. It's very possible, very possible. It's just a weird animal that I just can't get a handle on, to be honest. He's a horse you'd want to be on at 20-1, but not at 5-1.
Yeah. You want 20s for all your you're in disgrace. Absolutely. John, anything to add on this?
No.
I thought it was a race where you could throw a few darts. I'm not totally convinced by Shearer. On the blind side's a monkey. Paddle Your Canoe's a bit short to bet for me, considering all we've said. Sidi Ismail's a softie. Not a softie, he's a soft ground horse, he's just slow. Annual Invictus, just completely went the wrong way last year, so who knows what's going to turn up. He's priced on his trainer's form. So you've got Jatalu, Lisnagar Oscar, you wouldn't know. I quite like Fontana. Elise ran quite nicely here last time. Step up to 3 miles is quite interesting, but 11-1 didn't really appeal to me there either. So it's just
Would he stay? It'd be a big
question. He has been keen throughout his career. I just wonder, they've got to try and unlock some improvement from some ways. It's still only 6, might jump a fence in time, but I wouldn't surprise me if this produced a jolt of improvement, and it'd be lovely to see Robbie Dunn in the winner's enclosure with a big Saturday winner, wouldn't it?
I'd be looking forward to seeing that.
Love to see that.
Yeah, right. The 3:30 then, chaps, to finish off. Fry's been on and says that she likes the Martinstown horse. Time flies by for Nicky Henderson and James Bowen. This is well handicapped, and she says getting James Bowen on board is a blessing as always. Obviously, really likes him, and she says that's the one to concentrate on at a price each way. Obviously, myself and Neville have klaxoned, and we've made the case for Unanswered being stupidly well handicapped, which it is. So Fry can get back down in the cellar with that one. I'm going to come to you, Adam. for your opinion on this?
I've not got a great deal to add to this, to what you said. I'm not going to take you guys on. Obviously, Wise Guy is the sort of the unexposed one, isn't it? I thought I'd seen it in the flesh. I think I have, but I can't find any notes on it. I think it's a nice sort of raw chase type. So I've got nothing further to add there. Yeah, I'll probably row in with you guys. I just wanted to, just before we go, Lee, I just wanted to add some any other business. There's a race at Wetherby that I was going to put up a lay bet. The 12:43, a 2-mile novice chase that Fransham won last year. There you go. I finally got in the Fransham win on last year's card. I thought the betting was completely wrong here. Minella Plus they put in as the favourite. He should be about a 5-1 chance. He's on my book anyway. They put him at 2-1. Nero Rock can't win, so those two can't win. It's between Zacconi Rebel for Toby Laws, who is a trainer that we need to talk about. He's obviously got a great strike rate. Mariko Devassi ran in the Dovecote last time. He's a cracking horse. I can't wait to see him tomorrow. And Laura Morgan's got one for Dirty.
Oh,
Dirty Alan. Dirty Alan Rogers. So we don't know what they're going to do with that in the market, but I can assure you Manila Plus will go off at about 4-1 and won't win. So. If you can lay that.
He's not the biggest Minella Plus. I looked at him at Ludlow when he won last time, and obviously the second did everything wrong and should have beaten it. But Minella Plus just isn't the biggest for fences. Surprised they've sort of gone over fences, to be honest. But there we go on that one. Just coming back to 3:30 then quickly, John. John, anything you to add on 3:30?
Yes, I was better all the time. You and Neville.
So was I, John.
Yeah.
Beat you to it.
Look, I mean, that sort of concludes the pod in a way. Myself and dirty northern gambling trainer Neville Ender with his, cool Henry being an absolute disgrace. Doing the shops in Leeds for the first gamble and then telling no one. And then he bolts up next time by a short head. And nothing. You hear nothing. It's like a void of silence, a wall of silence. Loose lips sink ships in this game, folks. So remember that. Nev, the shrewdest of all, watch out for his Cold Henry going forward. Nev, is he going to go over hurdles, Cold Henry?
Yeah, it'll be. We'll be one more run over on the flat towards the end of the year.
3 runs for a market. You doing the old Peppian? Bury it.
He might need some experience before he gets the hang of
it.
Hey, we love these trainer quotes. It should be in the racing purse. This might need a bit of experience before going handicapping. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed it. For myself, Adam, Neville, and John, we've enjoyed it. Well, sort of. Bye for now.